Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you are able to listen to me properly, as well as there is no issues with the audio or the video, please do let me know. You guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there is no problem with the audio or the video, please do let me know. In the meanwhile, I'm just opening up the live chat on my phone as well so that I'm able to see the same. We'll wait for 5 to 7 more minutes for people to join us so that we are able to start off with our class. In the meanwhile, if somebody has any kind of questions, they can definitely ask, and I will try to answer as many of them as possible. Okay, no issues, that's great. So we'll be waiting for 5 to 7 more minutes, guys, so that everyone is able to join us. In the meanwhile, if someone has any questions, they can put it down in the live chat and I will try my best to answer them. Okay. So just a second. Undefined, we will be discussing that today. Okay, so don't worry about the same. Yanshu, the window is open. You We will be making the Netflix clone either on Monday and Tuesday or on Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, so on these 2 days, in the next 2 to 4 days, we will be doing the Netflix clone as well. Okay, we'll be having separate classes for the same. Please revise a bit about the yesterday's class. So we will be like just talking through the same as well, like asking the students about the same. Don't worry about it. So being a tier 3 college student, paid classes में placement benefit मिलता है क्या? Yes, so I don't know about other people, but yeah, in our training and internship program, we have our placements as well. Last month, we got 7 or 8 students placed in Google. So, and many students in Microsoft, some in Samsung, some in Oracle. So, yeah, it's great. But you have to do good in the program as well. Okay. Which programming language is best for first year students? Nishan, that totally depends upon what is your aim. So there, according to me, there are three aims that any software engineer can aim for. First of all, is going into a good company like Google, Microsoft, Samsung, Oracle, Capgemini, or maybe like GE Shaw, maybe uh, Goldman Sachs. All these type of companies. These are big named companies itself that have excellent packages. So if you are aiming for these type of companies, you should be focusing much more on data structures and algorithms and competitive programming. And for that, I would suggest C++ or Java. For me, I preferred C++, but if you already know Java, then you should go further with that. And along with that, you need to have a good grasp on either data science or full stack. That would be it. If you are planning to go down with a particular startup, maybe like Cred or maybe other Infosystems or these type of companies itself, these are startups itself. So these startups will be focusing much more upon your development skills. There they will be, if you're going with data science, they will be focusing upon Python. If you're going with full stack, they will be focusing upon the merge stack, DevOps, cloud computing, all these kind of concepts, and you have to be excellent in that. Okay. And the third type of developers that I consider as like just I need to complete college and then I need to go to I need to do some MBA or something like that. Then I think so. DSA should be more than sufficient. Just do DSA in either C++ or Java. That should be more than sufficient itself. Okay. So I hope that Nishant, that answers your question. Can you make videos on BPMN, Cogito, and Dockers? So see, Dockers, Kubernetes, Ansible, Jenkins, these all go hand in hand, not BPN, Cognito and Docker. If you're using these three together, like there's just like they're clashing with each other, they won't be a good suitable requirement for any company. So you have to first of all make sure that you are able to understand these topics, and you can only move to these topics after you have learned the entire merge stack and cloud computing. If you're directly going to DevOps, then it's of no use. Okay. Uh, yes, Karthik, I've already made that very clear. We after the training and internship is done, we provide referrals. We provide different kinds of support, as well as many companies come to us for placements as well as internships. So yeah, that is something that we provide. Which technologies we will be using in this bootcamp? So in this bootcamp, we'll be using TensorFlow.js, HTML. These will be the two major technologies that we'll be working with. Do not consider language as a technology, guys. Never make the mistake of describing that I'm using JavaScript as a technology. Okay, that's just the language. The technology that you will be using would be TensorFlow.js. Okay. Okay, so for placement, Python is good because I already started Python. Just Python won't make the cut. Okay, because like Python is now being taught in like 10 standard. So why would they prefer to hire you rather than a student in 10th standard who has the same knowledge? So you have to stand out from the rest of the crowd. In data science, the least that you have to do is know the entire data science process, data analytics process. You have to have good projects in SQL statistics. You have to have like 18 machine learning algorithms that are present completely done along with projects, as well as 6 deep learning algorithms at least done completely, understanding the mathematics as well as the project. This is the minimum requirement in data science for a job. Minimum. Okay, sir, I'm a third year student. No C++. I'm confused. Should I learn Java? Can you please tell? Pranay, if you are just starting out, you don't know Java, you don't know C, you don't know C++, then go further with C++. That is the easiest to understand. Okay. Python plus DSA, what's your opinion, sir? Not at all good. Okay, because when you're dealing with big companies, most of the people who will be conducting your interviews will be expecting your answers to be either in C++ or Java, not in Python. Okay, Python is not at all good for DSA purpose itself because it's a development language, not a language made for DSA and CP. So that is something that I'm totally against with. For development, yes, I will suggest to you to learn Python. Okay. Sir, if I'm interested to work in any mobile industry, what should I do? First of all, I don't understand this question. What do you mean by a mobile industry? Could you please make it a bit clearer? Is there any video interviews or reviews of students who are pursuing DEFTON paid courses? Aman, you can just go to our website. You will be able to find the reviews of the students right over there. Okay, we have our Meet Our Graduates section. You will be able to find them there. Which technologies we'll be using in this bootcamp? Like I said, Payal, we'll be using HTML as well as TensorFlow.js. These will be the two technologies that we'll be dealing with. Yes, you can consider like computer vision as well as deep learning as other technologies that you will be implementing in TensorFlow.js. Okay, but I don't consider them as technologies. I consider them more of like topics itself. Okay, I decided to go further with the path of data science, so please suggest me the platform for preparation. Then you can definitely join DevTown as well if you want to prepare for data science. We almost cover everything right over here. Python. Satyendra Rajan Panda. Okay, so if we have the use of Python in the project, then we will be doing Python as well. See, this topics I don't decide. Okay, it's being given to me, and my job is to make sure that you guys are able to complete the project on time. So I train you on the basis of that. If you want it in Python, you won't be able to show it to anyone. I want to make sure that you are able to share your project with other students as well. And it's not at all conventional. It's a bit different. That like is actually a good project. Okay. Java placement, every MNC considering 12th marks. There will be some kind of cutoff. Uh, but most MNCs do not really go further with that. If you are from a good college, you already have cleared the 12th cutoff of 75%. But yeah, not every MNC looks forward to a 12th cutoff itself. What is the current trend in cybersecurity in India? Not at all good. Cybersecurity right now involves majorly students going into cloud computing itself at the end. They aren't going into core cybersecurity. Yes, you can do bug hunting and all this kind of stuff, but that's not a job. So as far as jobs go in India in cybersecurity, right now the condition is not that good. I would suggest you to go further with either full stack, because full stack will always have great job opportunities, yeah, at any point of time. If you are focusing towards job, then that would be my suggestion. Okay. Can we use Visual Studio for JS? Of course you can. If you do this in Python, we have to make a Flask application alongside to show it. Yes, if you are doing it in Python, you will have to make either a Flask or a Django application alongside with it as well. Can we mention this workshop in our resume? Of course, Aman, you can definitely mention it. I don't think so. Most students are going to join us today, no matter what. We'll start with our today's class. Can someone remind me up till where we had covered in our previous class itself? Just a quick revision. So, what are the different things that we had covered in our previous class? No, Shruti, by just learning Python, you won't be able to get a job, not even a good job. I'm talking about just a job in India. Okay, because in India the competition has increased way beyond like anything. My uh, brother is currently in 11th and 12th, I don't know, and he's in bio and he has chosen IT along with that, and he's learning Python right now. So he knows more than you do. Why would I select you for a job? I'm not my brother. I can pay way less to him and make him do the entire work. So that's the main thing. Okay. So variables prompt. We had an alert prompt console.log functions. We hadn't started. If uh, like if I'm correct, functions is something that we have to do today. If I'm good at DSA competitive programming, that's required or not? Yes, Satyendra. Sorry. Yeah, I don't. Satyendra Rajan. Yes, DSA and CP is extremely important. That's why we have placed like in our team at DevTown we have Ritik, who is currently teaching DSA and CP, and he's in world ranking 100 right now, like in the top 100 of the entire world in CP, and he's the one who is teaching DSA and CP in our training and internship program. So yes, DSA and CP is extremely important. Yes, we haven't started functions in right now. So what we'll be doing is we'll be starting off with functions, and I will try to answer some more questions in the meanwhile at the end of the class itself. I want to make sure that you guys are properly mentored. Like, I understand that you guys are coming in the first year or maybe in the second or third year as well. But what I've seen is most students don't have the proper mentorship. Like, they will be all hyped up about something like, ah, Python, everybody is getting job due to Python, and that's not the reality of the thing. You will start learning Python, and at the end, when you're going into giving the interviews, you are not able to get placed. Like, you need to first sort of your priorities, what you want to do in life. Do you want to get a placement, or do you want to just roam around learning something that you aren't going to use at any point of time? So my job is to give you mentorship. It's up to you at the end to decide what to do. Okay. So let's get started, guys, with functions. So just like yesterday, we want to right click, go to inspect. You are able to see console from right over here. Yesterday we were writing most of our code in console itself. And the last code that we written, if you remember it correctly, was we saved the input from the user into a variable called as name. Let me just open up the live chat on my phone. Okay. So that is what we did at the very end. Now there is a big problem with console. As you will be able to see, let me just like on uh, alert plus 2. If I want to write two lines of code and execute them together, I don't want to write like one line of code and then execute it, then write another line of code and so on and so forth. I don't want to do that. Now that is very difficult when you are writing a code in console. So as soon as I'm pressing enter to move to the next line, it executes the previous line of code, that is alert. It says 1 plus 2 is 12, and it's fine, and then I go to the next line of code. to write multiple lines of code in like the console itself, what you can do is you have to first write alert, and then instead of just pressing enter, move to the next line. To move your cursor to the next line, you have to press shift and enter. Okay, both first keep on pressing shift and then enter. In this particular way, you will be able to move to the next line of code. You can again write alert and then something else. You can also write console.log. So you can write multiple lines of code every single time you want to go to the next line. Okay, you have to and you don't want to execute the code itself, you just have to click shift enter. Now if you want to execute all the 3 lines of code together, you just have to press enter. It's coming 12, then hi, and then in console you are able to see that 2 got logged in. Okay, so this is how we can execute multiple lines of code in console. But maybe you wanted to write 500 or 600 lines of code, or maybe 1,000 lines of code itself. And after some time, instead of just pressing shift and enter, by mistake you pressed enter and all your information was lost. The second thing, if you are refreshing the page as well, all the code that you had written previously is lost from the console. And sometimes we don't want that. We want our code to be there so that we are able to write multiple lines of code together, execute them together, and save it as well. So for doing that, right over here in the development tools itself, you can go to sources. Okay, so right now you are in console, so elements, console, sources. So I want you to go to sources. Then in sources, I will just delete this for right now. You can just click on this particular 2 arrow buttons on the left hand side. Okay, these 2 arrow buttons on the left hand side, as you are able to see, just click on that, select snippets. Okay, select snippets from right over here. As soon as you are selecting snippets from right over here, you will be able to see this particular page being opened up. And then I want you to click on this new snippet from right over here, and you will be naming this snippet as anything. Right now I'm naming as index.js. Don't forget the .js extension that basically states that this is a JavaScript files. Why we don't use IDE for this project? We will be using an IDE for this project. I like to take things slow and I like to take things from basics. I want everyone to understand all the concepts clearly. So just be patient. Okay. So right over here, as you're able to see, we had our, we went from console to sources. Then clicking on the double arrow, we went to snippets. Okay, and then in snippets, we have our index.js. We created a new snippet. You can name it as Shaurya.js, network.js, control.js, anything. Okay, you can name it as anything. .js is important because we want it to be a JavaScript file. And then all our code that we want to write, we can write it right over here. For example, alert. Okay, and then hi. Then next line of code, alert, and then hello. And then if I want to execute this particular file, so this file contains these 2 code right over here. If I want to execute it, I can either click right over here on this button called as control plus enter. It will run first hi, then hello. Okay, or else I can just click on control and enter. Okay, as it is written right over here, I can just click on control and enter. Okay, control and enter. So this will also execute the file for us. Okay. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know. Amazing, guys. Next, what we are going to learn is, first of all, where is the attendance link? Okay, so first of all, do not fill the attendance link right now. You can only fill the attendance link at the end of the class itself. Okay, so if someone is filling up the attendance link in the middle of the class, I won't be accepting their responses. Okay, I will just remove that particular responses and then I will proceed further. So please remember, do not fill the attendance link within the class. Okay, fill it after the class itself. And right now I'm only telling you where the attendance link is. Down in the description of our website, okay, down in the description of our video, you will be able to see our Instagram page. So this is the Instagram page of DevTown. Okay, so the link is down in the description of the video itself. The attendance link is in the bio of that particular Instagram page. Okay, the attendance link for today's class is in the bio of that particular Instagram page. If you are not able to copy paste it, you can directly type it out as well. Okay, please make sure that it's small and capital letters are made it properly. Okay, the attendance link is in the Instagram bio. Okay, and if you don't have an Instagram account, you can open it up in a private tab, and from there you will be able to see the Instagram bio as well. Okay, don't fill it up right now. So let's proceed with the same, guys. So right now we are going to learn about functions. Okay, functions in JavaScript is very important to understand. Let's think about it in such a way. Okay, let me just open up my Paint. So functions are very similar to what we have learned about variables. Think about variables as something that hold value. Okay, variables are something that hold value. Okay, similarly functions are something that hold code. Okay, that hold pieces of code itself. Okay, so right over here, if you are able to understand, let's say I've created a var called as rent is equals to 1000. So every time I'm writing rent, it refers to the value that it contains. Okay. Similarly, if I'm making a particular function and it has some piece of code inside of it, so every time I mention the name of that particular function, it basically refers to this piece of code. So instead of writing this code again and again or copy pasting it again and again, I can just write the name of that particular function and I will be able to use it directly. Okay. Rancho, yesterday as well as today as well, I have explained it that the Netflix clone will be done either today, either on Monday and Tuesday or Tuesday and Wednesday. So in the next 3 days, someday, I will be having the Netflix clone as well. Okay. So that is the concept of variable, guys. Now why do we require concept of functions? Okay, think about functions as nothing else but variables that contain code. Okay, now why do we require it? Let's try to understand that. Now if you are having like some 10,000 lines of code, okay, and inside that code itself, every time a new user comes to the website, you want to like welcome him. Okay, so welcome message. Okay, welcome message, okay. So every time a particular like person comes into play, okay, on your website, you want to show a welcome message to him. Now this welcome message is nothing else but what we had written yesterday, that is like you are first taking in the name of that particular person, storing it in a variable, creating an alert, and so on and so forth. So this is 3 lines of code that you have to write to show a welcome message to a particular user. So every time, there are 2 things that you can do. Every time you can put these 3 lines of code here, and this will just make your code look very big without any like purpose itself, and maybe you are making some errors in that as well. What you can do is you can just create a welcome function that contains these 3 lines of code, and instead of writing these 3 lines of code every single time, you can just use the word welcome to just call that particular function, and it will execute these 3 lines of code again and again. That is the benefit of having functions. It reduces your code, okay, it reduces the number of code as well, and it makes the maintenance of the code easy. For example, right now if I want to change, like with name, I want to take in age as well as an input. So every time I will have to go through these 3 lines of code every single place, and I will have to like make additions to the same. Whereas if I'm using a function, I can directly come to the function itself where I've declared the function. I can just add age as well, that I have to take input of age and I want to add it in alert, and that would be done for the entire website as well. Okay, so that is how it will work. Are you guys able to understand? Simran, two things. First of all, do not open the attendance link right now in the middle of the class. Second, the attendance link always works. You have made a spelling mistake. Okay, so that is how you are going to use it. And as it is an Instagram bio, it's just texts. You will either have to copy paste it or you will have to type it out manually. Are you guys able to understand the use of functions? We will then start with the implementation, guys. Please let me know. Is there someone who is not able to understand functions? Is there someone who is not able to understand functions? Okay, so let's get started with our practice. So first we'll be creating the same function that we discussed right now. So let's create. So how to create a function? It's the same as creating a variable as well. So you just write function. Okay, so the name of that particular function. So here the name of the function, let's keep it as welcome. Okay, and as there are no parameters, we'll be discussing about parameters later on. Right now just like ignore it. We are just creating a very basic function, then we'll be moving further with what are parameters and everything. So and guys, please don't tell anyone where the attendance link is. You guys are coming to the bootcamp, you guys will be putting in your hard work, you will be doing the entire bootcamp, spending your time making the project, and you guys are just telling others that where is the attendance link. In that particular case, without even attending the class itself, they will be able to get the certificate, and it will result in only one thing, that your certificate is less valuable, because someone who does not have any idea about the entire javascript or something like that is able to get the certificate, and you who have the idea about the and you have conducted the entire project, you will also have the same certificate. It's totally up to you. Okay. Defton, have you ever thought about creating videos that are in detail? Just a suggestion, will blow up if you do. Very few channels make in detail videos of ML. Uh, for C++ and Java, we will be releasing very detailed versions of like one has been created by a particular person from Cisco, I think so, and the second has been created from a particular person from Oracle. So these are the two people who have created the C++ and Java courses. I think so that would be live in a few days itself. The entire course, we will be putting it up on YouTube for free. And I'm personally thinking about like doing some stuff on YouTube. See, I don't have time. Like I do this for free. Like I just do it because I love teaching. So I take out like 1 hour of my life in the evening and I just devote it, so that if it helps someone, that's great. If not, I like teaching, there's no issues. So but I will definitely take that suggestion into account. I love teaching, so and machine learning is something that I had been a Google Explore ML facilitator, and I had taught in almost 3 different universities on behalf of Google, like on topics on AI and ML. So like yes, I have good knowledge as well. I will definitely take that into account. Okay. The certificate will only be valuable if you are making sure that you are able to keep it valuable itself. Now you guys are sharing the attendance link with everyone, you guys are telling everyone where the attendance link is, then you are dumb. Like nobody can help you out in that particular case. Like you have to be smart enough to realize when something is beneficial for you, and you have to be selfish about it. If you are like, yeah, I will help someone, I will help everyone, then nobody will be able, like you are the one who is going to go into a ditch. No, I'm not the other person. Okay. Sure, like uh, if it would be possible, like I can only travel on Sundays and Saturdays, I will definitely try to come to your university if the university invites me. But like yeah. Yeah, sure, you can message me on Instagram as well. I'm not that active on Instagram, but like I will definitely try to help you out. My Instagram, like DevTown follows me, of course, so you can get my personal Instagram ID from there as well. So function. So let's create our very first function. we need to take an input from the user, save it into a variable, and create an alert. What would be the code for the same? Can someone let me know in the live chat? Jay Vagasia, first of all, AI is like physics. Okay, so you are never going to be like, I am a physics champion. Okay, you have to be very specific about what you want to do. Prompt. So, Rancho Comedy has said that we need to start from prompt. Is he correct? Is he correct? Guys, please let me know. We need to first, okay, so Rishu, like that was a very bad like code. Okay. We need to first of all, guys, yesterday I had written the entire code for it. Okay. The prompt is not the 100% accurate answer. I need the entire code. Var and then prompt. That's absolutely clever, Piyush. We first need to write var name is equals to prompt prompt. This is the correct code, okay? And then in that we want to say what is your name. And then you want to have your so you have taken in the input, you have saved into a variable, then you want to create an alert of hi, and we are going to use concatenation here to create the message. Okay, hi, then name, thank you for visiting us. Okay, this is simple welcome message itself. We took in a variable. Okay, we created a variable, we took in the input from the user, we created an alert, hi, what is your name, thank you for visiting us. A simple welcome message. Now if I'm saving this and trying to run it, you will be able to see that nothing happens. Nothing happens. Okay, it is not showing me any prompt, it is not showing me any alert. Why is that the case? Now you need to understand, this is how you declare a function itself. When you were declaring a variable var rent is equals to 1000, did something happen? No. When you are using that variable itself, alert rent, only then something will happen. Okay, why is that the case? Because this is called declaring the variable itself. Okay, so similarly, when you are creating a function, you are just declaring the function. Now you need to call that function as well. So to call a particular function, welcome and then parenthesis, and that's it. This is how you call a function. Now this will execute the code. So as you are able to see, what is your name? Ezekiel, and it will say, hi Ezekiel, thank you for visiting us. Okay, so this is as simple as that. Now what is this particular right over here? Like we are having a parenthesis and it was saying props, like what are the different, like what do we want to put inside of it? Okay, when we were creating the function right over here, okay, we are able to see that params written right inside of it. What does this params mean? Okay, what does params mean? Okay, params is a short form for parameters. Okay, what are the different parameters that you can feed into the function? Think of it as small gifts that you are giving to the function to use. Okay, you are going to a party. Okay, these parameters are small gifts that you are giving to the function to use inside the function itself. For example, if I want to have hi name, thank you for visiting us, and then another alert, your age is, let me put that in quotations, and then I will have an age, okay, right over here, and I will take an input as age as well. Okay, and this is where things get like interesting. Now when you're putting in input, when you're putting a parameter right over here, you need to pass in the parameter when you're calling the function. Right over here, let's say 24. Okay, so we are passing, so this 24 is the age. Now please like notice right over here that this age is not being declared as var name or var age or something like that. We can directly write age right over here because it's a parameter. We don't need to declare it, it's automatically understood by the like JavaScript itself that what you want to do. You don't have to write var age. You can directly write age right over here, and age will be assigned a value of 24. Okay, age will be assigned a value of 24. Similarly, you can pass in. So when I'm running this, as you are able to see, let's say Shaurya. Hi Shaurya, thank you for visiting us. Your age is 24. Okay, similarly, you can pass in other parameters as well. So for example, place, gender. Okay, so you can pass in like let's say Bangalore. You can pass in male, that too in string as well, and then you can use it right over here. For example, let me just chat space, place, space, you can use all these prompts to do various things. Okay, for example, if I'm doing this, sure, yeah, thank you for visiting us, and happened right over here, I think. Uncaught reference, place. Okay, I've made a spelling mistake in place. Okay, so now it will work. I'd made a spelling mistake in place, that's why it was not working. So please keep a mind of spelling mistakes as well. Okay, if you're making spelling mistakes, of course it won't work because that variable wasn't defined itself. Okay, so hi HSS, thank you for visiting us. Your age is 24, Bangalore, male. So you are able to use the passed in parameters as you like. Similarly, you are giving a gift to a particular person. You will be expecting a return gift as well. Okay, you need to expect a return gift as well. Now when you are like executing these type of functions, okay, these functions are something that are similar to alert. Just think of it in such a way. So you are having alert, okay, and then you are having something written inside of it. So alert is also a function just like welcome. Okay, it's taking in a particular parameter and it is doing something, that is, it is creating an alert. Okay, but in the console, whenever I am running alert or welcome, you will be able to see that we are getting undefined being returned to us. Okay, we are getting undefined again and again every time we are executing either welcome or alert or something like that. Now why is that the case? We need to understand the same. This is because nothing is being, you are not getting any return gift from the function. You are not getting any return gift from the function. Even though if you are giving something or not, I don't care about that. Are you getting something back? No. It's not returning to you some value. Okay, prompt is returning you the value fed in by the user. You can also return something using your own like code as well. For example, right over here, I can return age divided by age divided by 1.5. That is your age in dog years. Okay, so I can return a particular value. So now this particular function takes in a particular value, does something with those values itself, and then it returns to me a particular value. It gives me a gift back again. Okay, it was early on, it was not getting me anything. Now if you are getting nothing from the function, that is called as undefined in JavaScript, and that was getting printed in your console. Now if it is returning me age divided by 1.5, I am running this, putting in my name, you are able to see your age is 24, Bangalore, male. When you are going back into your console, you will be able to see that you are getting 16 being returned to you. That is 24 divided by 1.5. Okay, you are getting 16 being returned to you. Now why is that the case? Instead of getting undefined like early on, you are getting 16. Okay, this is because of the fact that you are returning something. Early on it was not returning anything, it was returning undefined. Okay, similarly right now it is returning something. Now good example of a particular function that returned something was prompt. Whenever you were using prompt, it is also a function. It took in a particular input, okay, and it returned to you whatever the user gave an input as. Okay, and that is what was getting printed in the console. But what if I'm saving? Okay, just like early on, we can save the value being returned. Okay, whatever value is being returned, you can save it in a particular variable. So variable dog age is equals to welcome 24 Bangalore male. So if I'm doing this, okay, if I'm putting my name and everything, so you will be able to see that in the console we are still getting undefined. We are not getting 16 back again. Why is this the case? Because whatever value was being returned by the function, now it is getting stored in the variable called as dog age, and hence we are getting undefined back again, because that value is not going into our console. That value is going into a variable itself. Now please remember, okay, so are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. But in the case of console.log, okay, in the case of console.log, please remember this, that whatever, so console.log will just log something in the console, but will still return you undefined itself, because the work that it did was to print something out in the console. It didn't return anything back to you. You cannot save something. You cannot do var name is equals to console.log hello world. This won't work because it is not returning you anything. It's just doing one work, that is printing something out in the console itself. Okay, it's just printing something out in the console itself. So if you are running this, even though something is being printed out in the console, even though something is printed out in the console, you will still get undefined along with it. But this is not a value being returned. This is something that is just being printed out. Okay, are you guys able to understand? Please let me know. I'll just name the variable as dog age, that is like human age divided by 1.5, so that returns the age in like dog years. Like, I don't know the exact calculation, I've just like done some random things right over there. Okay, are you guys able to understand till here? Please let me know. Okay, now let me know your questions. I will try to answer as many of them as possible. I hope that functions are clear to us. How do we get 16 in console? It was when we were not having anything. Okay, the returned value that was being printed out in the console itself. So when you are not having anything, just like welcome 24 Bangalore mail, whatever the returned value is, it will just go into the console, and that is what we were getting in the console. Just 16, no undefined, nothing. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I will try to answer. We have finished up with functions. This is more than sufficient for the level of JavaScript that we'll be requiring for the project. From tomorrow onwards, we'll be starting off with learning about deep learning, TensorFlow, tensors in general, computer vision. So all these conceptual things we will be starting off from tomorrow. Okay. So return is compulsory or not? Simran, if you remember it correctly, the first like function that we created, it didn't had any kind of it didn't had any kind of attributes associated with it. Okay, the parameters were not there. There was no return value, and it was still working. So it's not compulsory. Okay. So can you explain about var again? See, var is variable. Okay, variable and name. Var name is just variable name. Okay, this is how you declare a particular variable, nothing else. Okay, how to get this in? How to get into this IDE, sir? I'll just explain it once again. Don't worry. Okay, so anywhere on your screen, okay, leave anywhere on your screen. Just do a right click. Go to inspect elements. Okay, in the inspect elements, choose sources. In sources, choose this like two arrows on the left. Select snippets from right over there. And then in snippets, either you can create a new snippet, or if you have an existing snippet, you can use that as well. Okay. Okay. But why to return the value? Harshada, if you were not returning the value just like in prompt, so prompt returns the value that the user has fed in, then you won't be able to utilize that value itself. Whatever user fed in, that would be lost. Okay, so that's why return is very important, so that you are able to use that value further on. Okay. They are libraries or what? TensorFlow.js, yes, it's a library. So how scope of variable varies in the JavaScript function? So whatever variable that you are creating inside the function itself, okay, cannot be used outside. Whereas, for example, if I'm trying to do alert and then name right over here, it will give me an error. Okay, it will give me an error right over here. So let me just So it will give me an error, so nothing is being returned to me. Okay, so that is the problem right now. So but any variable created outside the function that you can use inside, see this variable like the scope of the variables is beyond the scope of the current bootcamp. We covered this in depth in our training and internships program, but yeah, I'm trying to make sure that it's as easy as possible for you guys to understand. uh, what is the difference between, so the question is not complete, what is a snippet, sir? So snippets are small pieces of code that can run periodically, and that is what we call as snippets. Okay, which application we will be using from tomorrow? Tomorrow we'll be starting off with deep learning, computer vision. These will be theoretical aspects of the program, okay, because we need to understand the theory as well. So that is what we are going to do from tomorrow. Age by 1.5, that is something that I have just done randomly, okay, just to return something. You don't have, like, you can do age divided by 2 as well. It's totally up to you. So what's the difference between var and lit? See, that is not something that I want to discuss right now, because students will get confused. If you'll be using it in the project itself, I will be discussing it in full length, okay. But because I don't want students to be like, yeah, I've already made them understood about vars, then if I'm introducing lit as well, then they would be a bit confused. So var, lit and cons, these are the 3 different type of variables that are there, and each have their own usage as well, but let's leave it for right now. Okay, unable to get 16 in the console, you don't have to do anything. You have to have a return statement right over here, and you just have to remove everything from here, so you will be able to get 16 in the console. Okay, can we use console.log in place of return? No, because that is not returning the value. That is, like I said right over here, console.log does not return anything. It just prints something out in the console. You need to return the value to be able to use it. Okay, it's hugely different. Okay, so why can't we print instead of alert? You can always print instead of alert, but then you have to shift to console again and again to show you guys. That's why I use alert. Okay, what is the difference between document.write and console.log? Both of them are different, because document.write is usually used while file handling itself, plus console.log usually works in the console. So document.write usually works on the HTML page, so that's totally different. That's DOM manipulation, and console.log just works on the console itself. Will we be using code sandbox? Maybe, like, I'm not very sure about it, as this is a very simple project. I may be just using a normal IDE as well. Okay, var can be changed, but in let cons the value given cannot be take the same variable name. Yeah, I know, but like Amit, I don't want to just like complicate things for the students. If we'll be using it in the project, then I will be letting you guys know. Okay, so I think so it should be more than sufficient. Visual Studio is the best IDE. I agree, but like in the meanwhile, like, I have shifted to Atom as well. The reason you do that is Atom provides a lot more customization. That's why. Why we declared Bangalore and Mail we should take as inputs. Pathik, you can of course take them as inputs as well, but just for the sake of simplicity, because I didn't want to write Bangalore and Mail again and again, so that's why I just took it as pre-declared values. Why can't we use PyCharm to run Python programs? You can, Devesh, it's a personal preference. Okay, so I think so there are no more questions for me. No issues, we'll meet tomorrow again. Okay, let's do that. And if you guys have any questions in the meanwhile, you can of course approach me as well on LinkedIn or even on Instagram. I'm not that active, but I will definitely try to help you guys out. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay, thank you.